At Facebook, we continue to take critical steps to better secure our platforms, including more than tripling safety and security teams to 35,000 people and partnering with security researchers, other tech companies, and law enforcement. What's next? We support updating internet regulations to address today's challenges and hold companies, including Facebook, accountable for preventing election interference, protecting people's privacy, and enabling safe and easy data portability between platforms. Learn more at about.fb.com/regulations.
Whether you're having a not moving off the couch while you watch the game kind of day, or a no time between conference calls kind of day, it can still be a delicious Dunkin' kind of day. And with Dunkin' now available on DoorDash, it's easier than ever to get your faves brought right to your door. So if you're looking for coffees, donuts, and breakfast sandwiches in the morning, craving some afternoon snack and bacon, or in need of Dunkin' refreshers for a PM pick-me-up, we've got you covered. Order now and get your faves brought to your door through Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Price and participation may vary. Exclusions apply. America runs on Dunkin'.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Grammarly Premium. Get a 1-month free trial of Grammarly Premium. Also, thank you to vidIQ for sponsoring today's show. And also get your free trial of Amazon Music Unlimited. All you need to do is visit my website to find out more. Today's episode, I'm with an actor from the movie 47 Meters Down. His name is Khylin Rhambo. He's a very talented actor, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. Today I've got Khylin Rhambo from the movie 47 Meters Down. How are you, Khylin?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. I was very impressed with that movie and the acting that you did. How did you get involved with 47 Meters Down?
Actually, so I worked with the head of that company, Entertainment Studios. His name is Byron Allen. Mm-hmm. And I worked with him. He casted me on one of my first series regular shows, which was called The First Family. So working with him for a few years, once he had a project that he was involved with, I auditioned and I let him know hey, just thanks for the opportunity. And he luckily was just like, hey, you know what? Honestly, just job is yours. And so, yeah, that's how I got it. And from there, it was pretty much an adventure. Started scuba diving, scuba training, and going underwater and learning how to act underwater and all those things. It was a crazy experience, honestly.
It was a very impressive movie with all the special effects involved. It was so real, with all that scuba diving and an actual great white shark too.
Yeah, and, so they had a model shark, I guess a big toy shark, a fake shark, but it's just the head. And then they would kind of CGI the rest and so they had something real to work off of. That's probably why it had the illusion of having a density, because it was actually a model kind of shark down there, which was crazy to act with, honestly.
That's crazy. So cool. It was a very impressive film, and your role in it. How much screen time did you get on the film?
So the cool part of this one was I kind of did this role as for the experience. I was really looking forward to this death scene that they had. So my character, I understood. They have certain characters in the movie to raise the stakes, right? So it's someone has to die in a really horrible way to bring oh wow, this is a very serious scenario, and everyone gets kind of invested in the main characters. But there has to be those sacrificial characters, and I was really excited to play just one of those characters that just raise the stakes, the ones that are just meant to die. And that was what I was really looking forward to. We honestly filmed 2 death scenes. And the one that made it to camera was a much, much quicker edited version, I guess, to save time or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the initial death scene that I had on the script was really why I took, I was so excited to take the role.
It's really good.
There's a
I was impressed with the movie, Kyle, and I watched it on Amazon Prime. It was whoa. It was what's going to happen next? I wanted to, because how long have you been an actor for?
Well, living in Los Angeles, living in California, it's kind of it's been an extracurricular kind of thing, So I guess while kids were, playing baseball or playing basketball for their school or whatever, that's when I kind of picked up acting. Like, I guess I picked it up seriously. I've always been doing like modeling, like for toy boxes and, like posters at Walmart and Target when I was really young. And then it just kind of progressed from there. And like, as I got older and kind of more aware that I actually do love it, that's when I started to, like, I guess, work.
Yeah, because how long have you been a full-time actor all your life?
Pretty much, man.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I've been blessed enough to be able to keep doing this.
It's a very, very hard industry. And you working in Hollywood at the moment?
I mean, technically, but there's Hollywood is, I guess, it's kind of like waking up. Like it was pretty much asleep for a while due to the pandemic and everything. But I guess, are you talking about the physical location Hollywood?
Yeah, physical location, working with other actors.
Yeah, no. So, when we film on, most of the times, like, unless it's like at a studio, like Warner Brothers Studios or something like that, you're mostly filming, like, not in Hollywood, ironically. You're filming, I just came back from finishing a short film, and I was in a small town in France, and, filmed in Seattle. So it's like, most of the times where we're filming, like, my really close friend, he's in the Philippines right now filming. So it's like, it kind of not necessarily, even though it's just kind of like a saying, like Hollywood at this point, because most people don't really even film in Hollywood that much.
Because have you worked with Australian actors in your career?
I'm pretty sure I have, man. I've heard the accent. You know what? Yeah, I did. There was this film that I did last year called Crashed and Fueled. And I believe, I forgot which one of the actresses, she had an Australian accent. I've been out there before too. Really cool place. I've been to Sydney. Sydney's actually one of my favorite places out there.
Beautiful. Australia's had quite a lot of good films done too. There was Wolf Creek that was filmed all the way in the northern part of Australia, in the middle of nowhere, Khylin.
Gotcha.
It's like nothing out there. We've had a lot of successful films. I think Wolverine was filmed in Australia with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, that was a great one.
But that's so cool that you're a full-time actor, Khylin.
Yeah, man, it's just I'm just grateful just to keep going, Has
it been easy or hard for you on your journey?
It's not been easy. No, not at all.
What's been your struggles?
Well, when you work in this industry, you have to learn how to believe in yourself. And, working as an actor as a kid and then growing into an adolescent and then to a young adult, there's whole different stages of acting. And it's kind of like no one really tells you when it flips, but normally you're auditioning for like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and, roles that really don't require too much depth. And then as you get older, so it's kind of like interesting, like to be able to make this transition as an actor and also as a human being. Let's say like I got older, but I didn't really mature yet as far as like understanding what love is. So I can only pretend to the best of my ability when I get an audition where a kid is head over heels over someone. So, it's like really matching your life experiences with your characters and being able to experience enough life to be able to translate that through your characters. Like that was been the challenge, like, because there was a moment in time where, like, my personal life was kind of halted and my age didn't stop going. So there were certain experiences that the characters were going through that I have not gone through yet, where I can use my imagination. But now that I've gone through those things, I can perform those just any kind of like essence of that, because I've really gone through it and I understand within here rather than in here. So
it's the same thing with music, because I'm a composer too. I'm a classically trained musician. Same thing, maturity as well. It's tough to be a film composer. It's very competitive, but I just keep going. At the end of the day, Khylin.
That's literally the only thing that's like, in my opinion, that separates the people that make it to where they're trying to head to, and the people that don't is just they stop. Some people just stop because there's so many signs that say to stop, and it's a matter of if you listen to those things that say stop and turn around, or you keep going because you know that's this is where you're supposed to go.
Yeah, and you've done quite a few movies I've seen on your IMDb profile, like Teen Wolf and Ender's Game.
Yeah,
tell me about those roles that you've been in.
Those are the most pivotal roles. Like Ender's Game was the first film that I ever did, and I guess Teen Wolf was the show that I kind of was like the biggest platform I was able to, I guess, do my job on, which was really cool. So both of those, it's just a matter of like how many eyes get on you to see like what you have, and those two roles allowed a lot of eyes. So it opened a lot of doors, and created a really cool momentum for me to just like keep kind of feeding off of. So
that's so cool. You've got a whole portfolio behind you of these roles that you've done. That's amazing, I think.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's only just due to like this is the only thing I've ever done, So it's kind of like what we were saying. It's just a matter of just continuing. And if I started at 11 or 12, and I'm 25 now. Well, I actually started much earlier than that, but if I started to like really take it seriously, at that age, it's just like only a matter of time that something is going to come of it. And that's just like only going to continue if I just continue. So it's kind of like, honestly, I look at it as like simple math at this point, just to lessen the anxiety of things, because it's such a wishy-washy industry. Currently at the moment, I'm not filming anything. So like that's kind of like how it is as an actor. Like you really feel like an actor when you're doing your job, but up until then, you're just like trying to do what you love, So that's probably the most challenging part as like actors. It's just like learning how to like use that downtime for yourself rather than like waiting for the next thing.
In the pandemic, did you get much work last year?
Actually, I did, which was really interesting. Yeah, I actually did a film that was pretty much based off of the pandemic, but it was like a thriller. I don't know if you've seen the film Unfriended.
Not yet.
It's like pretty much we're all on a Zoom call, and me and my friends, we have a birthday party that we're like a Zoom birthday party, and on camera, like our friend goes missing, and as we try to like go find her, like you end up seeing that like someone gets attacked and then another friend gets missing. And so it's just like one of those really like high intense mysteries, but we were never actually in the vicinity with one another, which was really cool. Like, I mean, I've never filmed a film like that where they gave me the camera equipment, they gave me the sound equipment, and I set it up myself, and I pressed action, and we would just play the scenes out in the room because that's where the characters were. And it was like doing a play and I actually did it at my friend's house. So that was a really cool film, and I did it like peak quarantine.
And how's the situation in LA with the pandemic at the moment? Are you guys still in the lockdown?
I mean, relatively, but we have restaurants now, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. No.
Because you guys were having it very bad last year.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. But it wasn't even just because of like the lockdown. Like last year, Los Angeles was going through a lot of turmoil with just everything that was going on, like politically and just all that stuff. So,
because in Australia, where I am, we had a lockdown, but we were lucky. Melbourne went into a second full lockdown. Yeah. But every day, Khylin, was just Donald Trump on the TV.
Yeah,
I just got fed up with it.
Yeah, it just became programming in a sense. Like, I just think that eventually people realize that, hey, let's tune out the noise, because that's all this is turning into. It's not really getting too informative. It's just like rhetoric and just, yeah, like adding fuel to people's emotions. And I feel like you should stay informed, but you got to know what you need to know and then get up out of there, because otherwise you'll get sucked in this whirlwind that's literally trying to be created. So
Here in Australia too was just a whole political campaign, Kylan,
yeah,
last year.
that's the motive for a lot of things going on right now.
Border shut, and blaming each other in Australia.
Yeah,
Then they're commenting on the US election, which has nothing to do with Australia too.
yeah, that was the theme for the world for a while.
Ugh. It was just horrible.
Yeah, so I mean, living here, the energy here was definitely, you could feel just the angst of people. So I mean, I'm sure it just caused a lot, like for people who are creative, it caused a lot of, like, I'm sure, fuel to create, because there was a lot of energy and emotions going on.
Well, that's when I published all my work last year on Spotify.
See?
I
Yeah.
just took the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, there was a time where, like, a lot of people really felt like they finally had a voice, or to at least voice something, because we all felt something. And it was a moment collectively where we all realized that our words matter, and we can speak our truth, and it has an effect. If on anything, it has an effect on ourselves, that we have the ability to do that. And so that's just what I saw. In just so many forms, people just expressing themselves, people finally tapping into things that they really love, or people just, and sure, it was also very difficult, very challenging for a lot of other people. There was a lot of things that were expressed that were not helpful. But my point is still the same. Like, people still felt their voice was needed to be heard, and people voiced what they voiced. And so it was a special time. I think we'll really realize what we went through once we, like, look back on it.
Makes you a better person, I think.
Yeah. I hope for most people, I hope, but, like, there's some people who are still waiting for the old world that we were in to come back. And I think that's just, that sucks to think like.
Yeah, because Donald Trump, Kylan, just was not a good president, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so that's the interesting thing about about where America was. It was like people couldn't really have an opinion. Like, look, you could say that, right? And I could say, well, I thought he was great. Immediately someone would say, oh, well, you're a racist, and you like this, you hate people, you do that. And just because you might not know the reasons why that person likes Donald Trump, and you might not know the reasons why that person hates Donald Trump. So I just seen, like, this war that was going on that I've never thought was okay. Even as a kid, like, I remember there was an election when I was younger, and I remember in school, like, sure, there was people that talked about it. I was very young. I think still, like, maybe junior high, or maybe like 6th grade or younger. I don't know, 5th grade. I don't know the age when the last election happened, but before Donald Trump. Even before Barack Obama. I just remember, like, even let's give Barack Obama that example. Like, I just didn't see this level of, like, division between opinions. And I know that Donald Trump is a very controversial character, but still, I didn't know that there was just so many people that were willing to kind of, like, just kind of disown others because they just had a different thought pattern. And I was like, that's not really that mature. Like, these are grown adults that are, like, saying, I don't want to, like, have anything to do with my sister or my mother because they voted different. Sure. It created this crazy thing that a lot of people felt really justified in that kind of thinking, but I don't think that's really that helpful to humanity, in my opinion. I don't think that everyone should agree, because that's not going to happen. But you can definitely argue it out. Like, this is why I dislike him. This is why I like him. Oh, okay. and maybe some minds and hearts will be changed through that, and maybe some will be like, I see that, but I'm not changed, and it can just go on just like that. But I thought, we're obviously not that emotionally mature yet.
Because over in the States, it's like a popularity contest over there.
That's one of the things that is, like, I would say, hypnotizing the minds of most of us in America is popular. Who can be? It's a race for fame, because everyone now feels like they have access to it through social media, through TikTok or Vine, or not Vine. Vine's not here, but through TikTok or Instagram, or there's so many different avenues now, YouTube, and that's fine. That's beautiful. That's beautiful that everyone can express themselves and be seen, be heard, and maybe even make money doing it. But there's also others that it's really messed with their minds, because the addiction and the need to be seen in that way on social media and gain those followers and gain that popularity, like, what it costs if you're going to play that game is very expensive. It costs a piece of you. It really does. And people don't really know that. People just, like, do what they think is what needs to be done to be popular, and don't realize that that's literally what selling your soul means. So that's what I think is, like, one of the biggest dangers out here. Just, this race to popularity.
Selling your soul, what is that? Because I've heard of it, but I don't understand it.
Oh, man. I mean, we can have, like, different way conversations about that. But I can give you the answer that's not too hocus pocus. Selling your soul literally is this. Like, if you understand what your soul is, your soul, and we live in a body. We have this vessel, this body. The spirit is like your intuition, your awareness of all of these things, and your soul is kind of like your mind, like the things that, like, your interests and the things that you think of. You're just the psychology part of your being, right? That naturally develops as a child, and under the right environment can just flourish into this beautiful thing, if it's watered and intended to, and so then let's say now you're an adult or whatever, you want to attain this thing, fame or success, and the way to get it is to all of your mental faculties and your personality and whatever, all of those things that are naturally you'll say, no, I will change that, or I will get rid of that. Or now, like, if you're naturally a soft, sensitive person, but you want to be you don't want to portray yourself as your natural self, so you'll change it. Like, that's selling your soul. Like, you're literally giving up a piece of something that's naturally beautiful, that's uniquely you, to get a external thing. And you can do that, and it might work, because you might, let's say, I mean, everyone can't be with the trends, but people go with the trends. They will do what the trends say, and then become that, and, like, give up their uniqueness. And it's a form of selling your soul. That's one form we can say, but that's something that we can naturally see that isn't, like, too hocus pocus or out there, that people do all the time.
So it's not like the conspiracy theory of signing the contract with the devil.
Well,
that's what I've heard.
There's don't get me wrong, like, there is a spiritual realm, and there is a lot of things that people think that don't exist, that is for a reason. It's designed for people to not think it exists, so they don't go anywhere near what it actually is, and which is there's secrets in this world. If people who believe, like, oh no, everything that I see, that's all there is, then they just one day will become, maybe not become mistaken, but that they are ignorant. There's, just because you don't see it and you have not experienced it yet does not mean it doesn't exist. And I would not write off the possibility of something to that effect happening. I'm not saying that you're signing a contract literally to the devil, but there is a spiritual force out there, and it can be used for good and bad. So that also is a reality, and I've luckily have not come too close to things like that, but I would be like, I've experienced enough and heard enough and been around enough for me to be, I would be like kind of lying to you if I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Like I would literally be lying, because that's not how I've experienced too much and seen too much to think that that's crazy, because I know that it's very, very possible, very, very real, you know.
Because there was a guitarist before me and you were born. It was a blues. I forgot the name. It was at a crossroads one day. He wasn't very talented.
I know exactly what you're talking about. They did a documentary on this guy.
Mm. And all of a sudden, one day, he was just playing guitar like a genius and making all this money. And just...
He died young.
Mm.
He died young. I think he died at 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the time to die, I guess, when that happens.
Yeah,
I don't know. See, that's the type of stuff right there where I just find it really entertaining, fascinating. Could be true, could be not. Like, but I just don't live in a. I don't have that mechanism where it's just like definitively that can't exist. Mm-hmm. That's just as blind as someone that's saying definitively pink elephants exist. It's like, if you've never seen it, if you say, yes, I know for a fact, it's like, it's just as blind as someone saying, yes, I know for a fact it doesn't. It's like, you can't ever go into those extremes, you know. You just have to constantly keep this state of openness. And sure, there's things that we like know, like some people, you know, have like intuition and things like that. And it's good to use that. But like, yeah, I don't ever dabble in like saying that there's no way that exists, or there's no way that that's possible, because like I probably will find myself eating those words eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Because in Australia, we see things very different, Khylin. Like I've spoken to some of my lecturers who are musicians about Elvis, and they say it's lie and all that.
Yeah.
We see it differently here. We see it as like they were very talented. But there's two sides to the story, you see.
Yeah, you know, like I wouldn't say like I wouldn't say that I know that like, yeah, I don't know what the thing about with Elvis, if he's just sold his soul and that's why he's super good. I think that there's like a mixture of truth in some of these like legends that we might have heard, and I don't know, I can't differentiate which is which, but I'm just not going to say like it's all myth or it's all true, you know?
The guitarist I mentioned, Robert Johnson, the blues guitarist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if the name rings a bell, but the story does.
He was a blues guitarist. Now, I suppose, Khylin, if you do good in the world, you're going to get good back to you.
Exactly. That's literally it.
As entrepreneurs like me and you, it's, you know, you hang around positive people, I think, in my opinion, not negative people who drag you down. Have you ever come across people that tell you can't do it?
I have, yes. Mm-hmm. Luckily, you know, I'm not in that kind of influence is no longer in my life, you know, but yeah, I've had to overcome that, you know, growing up. And man, it's not even like, when you say do it, like, it's not even just relating to my career, but just other things, other normal things in life. Like, and then even like once you're around, let's say an individual or an environment that just constantly discourages you, eventually, even when you're outside of that environment, your mind does it for them. It's like you now have to fight this inner dialogue that's an echo of what it heard for so long. So then it's like it becomes your identity of just being like, if you really just hear you can't do it or anything along those lines long enough, yeah, your mind will help you and keep saying that for you, because you accepted it and you know you allowed it in, and it's like, all right, this is what's supposed to be. And kind of like I said, it's like an echo bouncing around in there, and until you stop and say something else, like the cycle kind of continues, because then your reality will manifest what you're constantly thinking of, which is you can't do it. And then you won't be able to do it, whatever this it is. And then it'll further kind of like solidify that statement.
At Facebook, we've tripled our safety and security teams and invested billions to keep our platforms safe. What's next? We support updated internet regulations that set clear rules for addressing today's toughest challenges. Learn more at about.fb.com/regulations.
Like, see, you can't do it. So the only way,
I believe, Khylin, if you want something bad enough, it just happens.
Exactly. If there's a will, there's a way, kind of thing. And like, there's these cliches that we can just like, but those are powerful statements, you know? Like, that's so true. Like, there's been times where, you know, I've been in a bind, right? Like, popped my tire, something like that, and had to call like the roadside assistance, and you know, the wheel lock wasn't. I didn't have the wheel lock, so the guy couldn't even change my tire, and we were looking for the wheel lock, and there was so many things where it was just like, all right, you know, I had the opportunity to just be like, okay, thanks for the help, man. I'm just gonna like push my car somewhere and leave and figure it out tomorrow, like. But it was just something about this guy was like, no, it's gonna happen, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, cool, we're gonna figure it out, and lo and behold, like, we figured it out. It was in this very obscure place underneath, like where they get the spare tire from. It was like underneath and stuck in this like gunk thing. But I would have never found it. I would have never found that. He would have never found that unless we just were like, nah, we're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. So the reason why I came up with that example is because I remember thinking while after that happened, like I imagined the other scenario where if we just didn't have enough willpower, like he would have went home and I would have had to figure out how to get my car, get a new tire. And yeah, so it was just, that's just true in all regards though, like on all levels. It's just a matter of maintaining that will. And you got to do certain things to maintain that will. It's not really automatic. You gotta feed yourself positive thoughts, positive words, positive food. You got to move, you got to be active. You just got to be like in alignment to keep your willpower, you know, because that can go down real fast if you don't do the right things real fast. And I know, like, we all know what that looks like. That's called depression.
Do you meditate?
Yeah, you know, I the reason why I haven't been saying like yes is because I said yes, I meditate when I was meditating like every day for like months. I remember like 4 months, I was like, I broke my streak, whatever, and stopped meditating every day. But for the most part, yeah, like I have not meditated today. So I don't like to say, yes, I meditate until like I do it consistently for like at least 2 weeks or so. But, you know, I've been working out for the past 5 days, but I still don't even say, like, if someone asked me, do you work out? I'd be like, nah, I mean, just getting back into it. Like, because it just doesn't even feel like it's true yet until I'm consistent. So the last time I meditated was 2 days ago. It was a great one. Yeah, I use this app called Insight Timer.
Me too.
It's a great one. They have like guided experiences. They have just music. They have just a timer.
I created a law of attraction circle on it as well.
Oh, nice.
So every morning I play just law of attraction meditation when I get up at 8 o'clock. So it's a great way to start the day.
Oh, it really is. It's like once you start your day on that note, it's only upwards from there, you know?
It's come a long way, the app as well.
It has, because a lot of people are the way it works is like it's just professionals put their content on it. It's like it's almost like meditation YouTube, you know? And that's really cool. Like there's other apps where it's just like, you know, whatever courses they have and that's it, and you can just like replay those or whatever. But this one's really cool because it's like just the teacher themselves will just whenever they want upload another meditation thing, and it works off of donations too now, which is great. Like it's a cool way to just like actually have a community on an app.
Well, my first meditation app was Headspace. I started with.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of like the start for most.
The good thing Insight Timer, the free version, is you can still use it, the meditation, and go into the live stream as well. That's what makes it a brilliant app to be using.
Right.
Insight Timer.
Yeah.
That's the blessing of it. That's so cool that you do stuff like that as well. But besides acting, what else do you do?
I write, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoy writing. Um, I guess most people assume that just means screenwriting, screenplay, like movies and stuff, but that's not even necessarily what I'm talking about. Excuse me, I'm gonna grab my phone charger while I'm talking. It's kind of interesting, man. Like, it's cool to have the phone because I can actually do things while we have this. Yeah, I know, yeah. But yeah, I enjoy writing, and I have what's called like, here, I'll show you. See, that this is the cool part of having the phone. I have this thing. It's called it looks like a journal. It is a journal, but I call it a soul book. So, like, I tried to like write certain things that like I would just feel, if that makes any sense, just from here. And sometimes it would it would be against logic. Like, if I'm in a scenario, I might think of being inside of a river, like a white water rapids, but I'm literally thinking about like passing a test, But like that's what I feel like I'm just trying to, so I'll write those kinds of things that's really hard to explain in my head or say out loud to someone, but like for some reason, writing it down, like that's just been my way of expression. And then, like, here, I'll show you. It's like I write pretty small.
That's so cool.
Yeah. This is this is going on 7 years, man.
Wow.
So my first entry was in 2014. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, so this is the page that I'm on right now. And I got like just literally this much left. That's nothing. Like, I can honestly finish that by the end of this month. So I don't write in it as frequently because I'm just like, it's almost gone.
Yeah, look, I do journaling too. I think it's good.
Yeah, definitely. It's an extremely healthy way to connect with yourself.
Especially, I mean, it's good to just get things out of your head too, and just put it on paper.
Right, and just to even like sometimes you don't even know what you're thinking. You're just because you're just doing it, because you're not even aware. Like it just brings awareness to what's going on internally. Because when you're sitting at that blank state, when you're staring at that blank page, the only way to get something onto it is you have to go in here and pull it out. That's the only way. I mean, you can try pulling it. When I say in here, some people, I'm just naturally trying to write from this place, but like you have to go within yourself, within your mind, within your heart, whatever you think of, however you imagine it. But you have to go inside, and so that's why I like writing, I guess, because it's just like it just forces that. It's the same thing as like art too, just drawing. Like you have to go within, you have to see an image within first and to put it down, or maybe you don't, but like you're coming from an invisible expression, that's just, I guess, the artist in me that just like likes that place.
Have you played a musical instrument or participated in music?
I did just like the classic. Everyone in out here in America, we've done like this. It's like a flute in third grade. It's the recorder. Yeah, I did that. Hated it. I didn't hate it, but it didn't sound good. It sounded bad. I just love music, man. So I haven't played any instruments, and I kind of let the excuse that I'm too old, but I'm only 20. It's ridiculous. That. But yeah, like I love it. I would love to know how to play the guitar, but one day. One day.
And no, that's do you have what are you listening to on your playlist?
Man, it is so many things. I think I like a lot of kind of psychedelic-esque sound, like music. Like Tame Impala is like a good reference point of just the kind of vibes that I like. But I like so many different things. I guess everyone's favorite answer is like, I like everything except country. But that's not mine. Like, I really like everything except like most like major pop. Like, I don't really like pop music like at all. most forms of it I don't like. Uh, and just I think radio music. If it's on the radio, normally I don't like it. Um, but other than that, like I like. Let's see, all the artists like no one would you wouldn't know. No one would know. I guess I can name a few. His name is James Blake. He's good. Um, yeah, I like a lot of like electronic-esque sounds. All different kinds, like chill electronic, like house, deep house. Um, yeah, really just like intense type music. I like those kinds of things. I love rock. I love rock music, different kinds. I like punk rock. I like soft rock. There's like alternative rock, and there's some really heavy stuff too. I never really got into metal though. Metal was just too much. Like I'm not trying to like have like the like Satan like songs. Like it's just a little too out there for me.
You should hear Slayer.
Oh yeah, Slayer. Yeah, like that's
good.
Maybe that's probably like on the lines of like being a lot. But I do like the energy, you know, just like it's just like a primal animalistic kind of energy that's really fun to play with.
All their lyrics in Slayer is to do with Satan.
I know, man. Like that stuff is just ridiculous. Like
I like that before you were born. You were born.
Huh?
All their lyrics have been like for the devil since before me and you were born.
Yeah, they're playing with fire, man. Playing with fire. Like even if you don't believe in the devil, that's fine. Like you don't have to believe in the devil, but it's like the idea of just something that's just ultimately evil. Like, all right, cool. Like I don't even want to play with that concept of like worshiping something that's like, even if it's imaginary, like nah, like I feel like we are so powerful as human beings that like whatever we like put our minds and energy and focus on, like it really gives life to something. You know what I mean? So it's like I think if a group of people collectively go into a concert and are just all thinking about some Hail Satan, I just don't know what kind of energy, like that's something that I don't need to really experience.
I mean, Dave Mustaine from Megadeth's quoted that they're not Satanists. The lead singer Tom Araya, he's a Catholic, apparently.
So what is the point of doing all that?
I think it's a marketing thing from them.
Probably. But see, look, even still, the people that listen to it don't. They could. There's people that probably take that very seriously. You know?
Yeah, I never really got into Slayer. I'm a metal person. I like Metallica, Megadeth.
Yeah.
I've always felt
Metallica's
they had
cool.
purpose with what they're writing, whereas Slayer's just all thrash metal and it's just the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Yeah, same.
You know, I do like Eminem and 50 Cent.
Yeah.
I do find that they've got talent as well. Did you get into rap music?
Yeah, that's kind of like what I grew up on, but that was kind of like culturally what I was like supposed to listen to, I guess. Like, and I've always enjoyed it because I can understand, like, some people can just hear it as like talking and yap whatever, and then other people can understand it as like I'll never like bash country singers because I know that some of the range and some of just the level of like the way that they tell their stories, like even though it's not my favorite kind of music, like I always find a level of like respect for like doing a different kind of genre really well. So rap music was like that. Like I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the beats. I really enjoyed the way it made me feel. I enjoyed the way the lyrics. Some people are really, really talented with like painting a picture and just wordplay. It's like poetry, you know? But I then was like very quickly started to just venture out to like other things. Like Kid Cudi was my favorite artist because he's not really a rapper. Like if you just listen to one Kid Cudi song, you'll understand. Like sure, the way he says his messages is kind of like in a cadence of a rapper sometimes, but his music is very like it sounds like space. It sounds like being in outer space sometimes. I mean, that's what his whole thing is. Like his first album was Man on the Moon.
Mm.
So it's a great album, and it's kind of like the baseline of all of my music tastes, I would say, because that artist specifically kind of has dabbled in everything. He's made a rock album already. Yeah, he's done just like really, really interesting creative sounds that like the world, I think most of the world needs to hear for sure. But I like all kinds of music, man. It's the way that you can say things that words can't, you know. That's why I like music so much. So, and I feel so many things that like so many specific songs just are like a perfect match for that feeling, you know. So that's why I gotta have a wide variety of music, because I feel so many different things.
How do you listen to your music? You stream on Spotify, or
Yeah, exactly. Spotify.
You're a vinyl. I'm a Spotify user too.
Spotify. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's one of the best music services out there. I'm not even kidding. Like, just how easy it is for me to find so much good music that I specifically like is like, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. And what other film roles do you have coming up next for yourself?
Yeah, so the next one that I'm really looking forward to it's called Flower Boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the film that me and my good friend Dylan, my really good friend Daniel, yeah, most of my friends, we all had a hand in making this film and just bringing it to life, bringing this story to life. And we filmed it in Los Angeles and Seattle and also in France. Mm-hmm. And it was a miracle, like the way that we got it done. We flew to France. We got a letter from the mayor of the town that we were filming in. And that's the way we got through the borders, because we did this we did this not long ago.
Shit.
Yeah, it's a story in itself how we got it done. And yeah. So
did you have to isolate coming back home, or did you have to quarantine?
Yeah, we did. It's for 10 days. Yeah.
And they let you in the border.
Yeah. Well, of course, we had to get tested and everything, and like it was very strict on just social distancing and masking and all of those things. But other than that, like, we got it done, and no one got any positive test back, and everyone came home with no COVID, and still to this day, no COVID. Everything's good, and movie's done, and yeah, it was a great experience.
Wow. And how was it getting on traveling on the airlines? Was it easy to fly, or how was the airline situation?
No, that was the hardest thing.
Wow.
Leaving Los Angeles was the hardest thing, because we got turned around our first day trying to leave. They said, no, you can't do this.
So yes, they turned you back.
Turned us back, yes. I don't know the details of how it got fixed, because I personally couldn't even handle that. I was starring in the film, and I was like, I rearranged so many aspects of my life to be able to do this, and just to feel it just that quickly just be snapped away. I was just like, I can't even think about it. So a few of the producers and they were talking to the airline people, and next thing you know, they're like, all right, we just got to come back tomorrow. And I was like, wow. So they just pushed our flight just another day, and I don't know what they worked out or what they further explained, but the mix-up was handled, and we got there the next day and got on our flight. It was kind of interesting, because once we got to France, it was another big scare, because they looked at our camera equipment, and they were like, they almost gave us some issues about it, because they didn't know what it was and all these things. And yeah, we had to go into a room, and well, not us collectively, but just one of us had to go into a room and like explain the whole scenario. And then like they finally like realized we were telling the truth. It was all good, and they let us go. But that was very, very nerve-wracking 10 minutes where we were just like, oh, we're gonna have to go right back to Los Angeles. You know,
it's scary, because I've been in that situation, Kyle. I traveled to LA 2 years ago. I was on a Kentucky tour. I find the TSA are very like strict or something on who they let in too.
Yeah,
you know, they're not very nice at LA airport.
They are not nice whatsoever.
Is that all airports in the States, the TSA?
That's not.
It's just LA.
LA is just kind of weird like that. I don't know why.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's just scary.
Yeah, I really can't stand them. They're really annoying.
And no, I just feel like all the tourists, they just intimidate people on purpose.
Yeah, 100%. There's really no use for the TSA. They don't really stop most. If you look statistically, they don't really stop much of anything. They're there to keep everyone feeling like they're safe. Honestly,
There's Las Vegas airport though. They were nice.
I can imagine they're way more lax than Las Vegas.
But have you traveled around the States much?
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Vegas, Texas, Colorado, Hawaii, Washington, Seattle, Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just LA airport. They're just rude and arrogant.
Yeah, now that you think of it, yes.
Yeah, it's not a nice place.
Yeah, sometimes I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of mean energy out here. There's also a lot of friendly people, man. There's also a lot of really good people in LA. So it's like LAX, the airport. Don't even think about it.
So can you take an international flight from San Diego, or do you have to go through LA?
An international flight to San Diego?
No, flying from San Diego to international, I mean.
To like LA?
No, to like France and wherever you went.
Okay. So like, yeah, I think so. Yeah, why wouldn't you not?
I'd rather do that.
Exactly, you're right, huh?
But the problem is with Australia, you have to go through LA and then transfer.
Yeah, man. It's just like you really don't like LA.
No.
At that point, like, dude, it's just you get like. I feel like taking the 40 minutes of suffering in LAX that you'd have to go through would be better than having to take like whatever going to like try to figure out how to skip it, because it's probably hard to get to San Diego. You know, it probably isn't, but I don't know. I don't know how those flight things work. I just know it's never that straightforward.
Well, because from Sydney, we don't have direct flights from Sydney to New York yet, because it'll be about 20 hours. You have to stop at LA and then transfer. And LA to New York's about 5 hours, I think.
Yeah, from plane, yeah, for sure.
You know, but that's life, Khylin. You know.
Exactly. There's pros and cons to everything, and it's just a matter of like what you're willing to suck up.
And did you have to go for all your visa application going to work in France to shoot your movie?
Well, so the thing is, like, no one did it for any pay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was technically like done it was funded through the government, like, of France. Like I guess they have like a certain amount of like a budget for the arts, and because we used a French actor, and you know we used their city upon their permission, and like they allowed us to create something really cool there. It was kind of like seen as like a charity. Like it wasn't really done as like work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're just creating art, and it's just collectively two people just like allowing that to be. The mayor was super awesome, and yeah, we just thanked her a bunch for allowing that. And so yeah, we didn't really have a work visa because no one was even really doing it for pay. We all came out of pocket to get this done, make it happen.
Mm-hmm. And do you find the governments in the States fund the arts or not?
I've never even heard of that until this experience. I didn't even know governments do that.
In Australia, they do. They give funding grants in Australia.
I'm definitely sure it happens, but because I'm not going to say no just because I don't know. But me personally, I never really heard of this scenario happening in the States. It might happen in a form of like, grants or something like that, like where maybe they fund it through like art schools and stuff like that. I don't know, but never something like super like intimate like this, where just helping a group of Americans and a group of French people to like bring them together to create something. That's really, it was a dope experience.
That's so cool that you've done that.
I know.
That's amazing to be able to travel in the middle of a pandemic.
Exactly. I know.
You know, that's cool.
It was a miracle. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Really am. Because I wouldn't. I'd hold off on traveling myself, not until things are fully normal.
That's the thing. Like, we came to the conclusion that might be a very long time, probably too long, like longer than we're willing to wait. So, like how we said, if there's a will, there's a way. It's truly a fact of this reality. And especially it makes it easier when there's multiple people sharing the same will, because it just almost like just drives the whole thing home, because we all collectively through the obstacles had to like help assist each other up. Therefore, the whole thing was moving forward as a unit. Jesus. But yeah, it was truly that law of the universe in action. Like, yeah, we were getting it done because we just had the will and just were continuing.
Yeah, it goes to show, like, you know, you got Dwayne Johnson. You've heard of The Rock, you know, the wrestler. I mean, he wanted to go play NFL, but then got told no. Tried to go to Canada, because I know they've got another football league. They turned him back. Went to wrestling.
Yeah, I know. His whole story was like, and now he's like one of the highest paid actors. It's
amazing
in the industry. Yeah, one of the cool stories is Colonel Sanders, the guy at KFC. Like, I think he got his riches, I think like in his 60s or 70s or something like that, something crazy like that. Yeah.
Have you heard of a person named Tony Robbins?
The name
sounds familiar. Into any personal development yourself?
Tony Robbins, yes, of course. Yeah, the motivational speaker. Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's great. I haven't really like listened to any of his specific lectures or anything, but the essence of everything that he talks about, I already know, is the same things that I study myself.
Khylin, thank you for coming on today's show. Where can the audience find you on your social media?
You guys can all find me there, talking the same things like that we've kind of been talking about on my Instagram, which is at Khylin Rhambo. It's KHYLIN RHAMBO. Khylin Rhambo. And other than that, like, I really don't use Twitter. Same thing though. At Khylin Rhambo. And yeah, you guys can just stay on the lookout for some more projects that I'm in.
Khylin, it's awesome to have you on today.
Thanks, man. Same. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the podcast. It was really awesome. Also, guys, new episodes are out Fridays. Don't forget to turn on your notifications in your podcast app. Also, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on those notifications. If you'd like to send a donation, you can donate to my GoFundMe page. They're in the description. Also, follow Khylin Rhambo on his social media so you can stay up to date on his work. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.
The sweet aromas of the apple fritter, cinnamon roll, and blueberry muffin are hard to resist. So making it the rest of the way home without reaching in your McDonald's bag is no easy task. But nothing worth doing is easy.
Wake up and pair any one of these sweet, fluffy, frittery bakery treats with a McCafe iced coffee. Get any size and any flavor for just 99 cents until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. The sweet aromas of the apple fritter, cinnamon roll, and blueberry muffin are hard to resist. So making it the rest of the way home without reaching in your McDonald's bag is no easy task. But nothing worth doing is easy.
Wake up and pair any one of these sweet, fluffy, frittery bakery treats with a McCafe iced coffee. Get any size and any flavor for just 99 cents until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.